This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen Urban Oasis, a short new documentary from Ryan Scura. A self-described love letter to San Francisco, it is effectively a kaleidoscopic look at the city, silently cross-cutting its way through its 49 square miles of land, as an opening title card notes. Within this montage, we're led through wildly different areas of the city by a number of joggers carving their way throughout, passing by various landmarks or familiar city trappings, but also being able to find their way into areas of pure nature and taking in sights and sounds far from the normal hustle and bustle, though the movie does make the point that the two are part of a larger whole, of course. There's not much else that can be said about the film's makeup, since I pretty much just described the whole thing right there. The short is pretty much everything that I just said. A silent but active sweep through the city and the different pieces that make up not just the urban areas, but the natural locations as well, hoping to showcase San Francisco as something more than the sum of its parts. It does manage that a bit, though it's not as fulfilling as I imagine that the filmmakers had intended for it to be. It feels more like a really quick tour of the streets and parks or other landmarks, coming through overall like a movie that only shows off San Francisco instead of developing it and its citizens. It wouldn't have to have been a huge undertaking, just something that showed more of the people and the individuality within whatever fragments of their lives we get to see, rather than the more literal glimpses we have as we follow the joggers. At the very least, everything we see is rather pretty, thanks to some varied cinematography which is able to get closer to the little things within the city, balancing them with wider shots that see even more of the local activity. The movie keeps this sense of immersion going further as it enters the natural environments, quieting down and letting wildlife sounds take precedence. The editing of the short flows perfectly as well, presenting both sides of the city with the right amount of pacing and clarity as is expected of them. It might have been interesting if the two sides of San Francisco could have been blended or meshed together in some way, though. Maybe to better unify everything, other than just one ultra-wide shot at the end. If anything, that's the sort of element missing from this short. The portraiture of San Francisco as more than a city space is entirely here. But there could have also been something done to tie everything together, no matter who or what or where it is. Something like that, anyways. Urban Oasis, Ryan Scura, 2022. 3.5 stars. I suppose it's still worth seeing, though seeing everything in this short is all you'll do, honestly. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I never knew San Francisco had forests, actually. I mean, sure, there were bound to be trees, and I knew there was an ocean, but by this point I figured that everything had been razed to the ground to make way for a parking garage or an expensive apartment.